having a city that supports the bicycle as a vehicle, that's a progressive city. That's a city that's attracting and retaining young talent. People looking for the hip city. It's a healthy city, and it's proven to create a healthier community and save employers healthcare dollars. It's also a city that saves money, because infrastructure for bicycle is a fraction of what it is for car-centric infrastructure. And it has a much higher rate of return per dollar. So Phoenix is flat. We have great weather. It'll work for all of us. So here's the ask. What I'm asking for is people to support, you especially, grade-separated pathways, connectivity, a usable network throughout the city, so we don't have to challenge traffic. Continual addition of bike lanes in existing streets during maintenance cycles, and city-sponsored bike facilities that encourage trip reduction and participation in this. So I want us to have a city that feels more like it's optional to own a car and not necessary. And that's my...
My question is this: will you support investments in transportation infrastructure that treat pedestrians, bicyclists, and the transit dependent with equal, if not greater, importance than automobile drivers? Because we are coming into a very, very important period in the life of our city. We've got a bond election coming up. We've got Transit 2000 that needs to be reauthorized, of which South Phoenix was left off the grid. We planned for a light rail line down South Central, and we lost that. And we've also got a couple of other county-wide sales taxes that need to be approved. And so following that, how do you propose to lever our transportation investments to transform Phoenix?
I mean, cities like New York, which are instituting bike shares, where you can leave bikes at public locations and take the bike next. Studies are going to show that there's going to be a multi-million dollar economic development factor in that. But if you want to, again, take it back down to the ground level, it shouldn't just be in the gym that is a safe place to ride a bike, right? You should be able to ride a bike around every part of the city. And it shouldn't stop at some, artificial boundary at the edge of a town or at the edge of a district. We need to look at our canals. We need to connect. It's all about connectivity. And when you connect people, you connect ideas. When you connect ideas and people, you've got more cash and more jobs. So again, when light rail comes down Central, we need to make sure that we've got a grid that's connecting light rail between Central and all of our bike paths and all of our bus stops. We need to have the city invest in putting actual bike racks at these locations. We have points of pride all over the city. I'm sure the South Phoenix and Levine Chamber of Commerce, if we twisted their arm well enough, would help invest in bike racks that we can put in these points of pride. I'd love to bike from the farm at South Mountain over into the Grove in Levine or up into the north part of the district in one day and do it without having to ride a car. People take bikes to work, they do it recreationally, and we have tourists in from out of town. You can't drive along Dobbins, along the southernmost portion of our district, without seeing people biking. It's an economic engine that we need to realize. But the other piece about that, instead of just looking at it from the positive, is the negative. You know how many dollars we spend per year in the streets department to build streets and to repair streets that cars put into disrepair? If instead you were on a bike and we had more bike paths, not only will we alleviate congestion, and I'll get to work a little more on time, hopefully, but you'll also have the ability to save money in that capacity, besides the economic development that it can bring.
My answer to your question is yes, and I've led on these issues. I founded the Bicycle Committee at the City of Phoenix and have a long stack of letters between myself and the City of Phoenix where they said, no, we can't do more for bicycle infrastructure. But we've kept pushing, and there's been a movement around this, and now in the City of Phoenix budget, we're finally investing in bicycle infrastructure. As chair of the Environmental Quality Commission, I led the effort to ask the city to institute a complete streets policy, which means that we're designing our city streets for pedestrians, for bicyclists. for people who use mobility aids, not just for cars going as quickly as possible. And I was thrilled to be down there last November testifying for the City Council when we got that unanimous vote to develop the Complete Streets policy. But we're not done yet, and we have to implement it well. And I've been a part of many City of Phoenix policies where we've set great goals, but when it comes to the actual on-the-ground work, we don't follow through. So that's one of the things I want to do on the City Council, to make sure we get the details right so that we develop that kind of vibrant, livable city. I've also been a strong supporter of light rail, and have been down in the community meetings saying we do need to invest in that light rail extension to South Phoenix and to incorporate bike share facilities, which is one of the things we asked for through the bicycle subcommittee and have pushed for and are excited to see the City of Phoenix moving towards. So we need to design the station so that we have room for this infrastructure. They've been talking in the presentations a lot about park and ride, but sometimes the full multimodal policy hasn't been there. I've also pushed the City of Phoenix to develop a pedestrian safety plan. Many other cities have this type of a plan, and it's really been important in protecting citizens. Some of the most dangerous areas in Phoenix, oddly enough, are near food cities in South and West Phoenix, where people face long stretches between crosswalks, and people are getting hit and even killed crossing the street. So I said to the City of Phoenix, we need to go and look and see what we can do to help these citizens. We need to implement things like hawks, which are crossing signals to help people get safely across the street. We also need to make sure public safety officials are aware of cyclists and walkers. So often drivers in Phoenix aren't used to seeing pedestrians and cyclists on the roads, and we have terrible accidents. I have a very good friend, Ron, who was hit by a car, hospitalized for many, many months on his cyclist. And I've actually had to see, I recently saw a bicycle mortality that broke my heart, and I said to myself, we need really to get the full public safety community involved so that we can have enforcement in addition to separated lanes and infrastructure to keep people safe.
I would just like to see more respect given to bikers. I've seen a lot of bikers get hit here lately. We're into the getting healthy. We're into going green programs and all of these kind of things, our health right now. This would be an excellent time to add bikes into the health thing. Because in order for senior citizens like me to keep moving, I got to bicycle. I got to keep my legs moving. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got a program for the kids, at-risk kids, that if you make a bike, you take the bike. That means all bicycle parts come together and you help make a bike. You got to get over here and work. You got to work. You need a bike to get to work. We know people are using bikes to go to work, baby. But there's a lot of mean people out here right now. They're angry. And they don't have the patience they used to have and the respect that they have for people anymore. So they hitting bikers and they, you know, people crazy right now. They don't care. So, but once we start working together, you can bet a lot of these things are going to fade away from me. Because you're going to care about me. You're going to make sure that bike is ready for me to go to work in the morning. All the thing I see that we're not doing is working together, people. You're not using your power to go down to the city and tell them we need some more bike up trails and all of that. We thinking, hey, we the boss, we the people. We the people. We tell them what we want. And that's what it is. We want those bikers safe, to be safe. Got children out there riding. You either slow that car down or brother, you're going to get locked up. I'll call Sheriff Joe myself on. You see what I'm saying? We got to start treating each other as a human being. That's all I'm saying. Bikes are important. Very important. I work with children. And all of them ride bikes. My sons ride bikes to work. There ain't enough bike rides on even the bus. He has to wait till another bus comes so he can get the bike from the bus. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Excellent. Now I was going to ask you, well, like to say, we keep saying that the light rails is going to go down to South Sound. Well, got to point out
that since then, the brain trust behind it is saying, oh, Dobbins is close enough. And now they're saying, oh, Baseline is close. What is that? That's Southern? I mean, it's the largest municipal park in the country. People have got to be able to get there. But anyway, I'm not supposed to ask questions. So, gentlemen, did you feel it? Did you have a good conversation? What do you think? Briefly.
I did. I felt it quite a bit. I am from South Central. I know the neighborhood.
I think we felt it. I think we needed to. I think probably needed to hear a little more about the multimodal transportation pieces and opportunity. But I think we felt it.
It's a long list. It'll take time.
Excellent.
Take time, gentlemen, but good game.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.